My thanks to Bring Me to Life Radio, and welcome to the Cinema Scribe. Waiting for our life to be fulfilling can be a frustrating exercise. We know we have something to say and goals we'd like to accomplish, yet for whatever reason, things just never seem to materialize. We're thus likely to sit back in bewilderment, unable to understand why nothing comes together. But rather than spin our wheels and waste our time in unproductive speculation, we might be better off focusing our introspection on the root cause of the issue: us. Taking stock of our authentic selves and figuring out what it is we were truly meant to do could prove to be more revealing, as an exasperated middle-aged woman discovers for herself in the insightful new comedy, The 40-Year-Old Version. 39-year-old African-American playwright Rada Blank, played by Rada Blank, feels unsatisfied. A decade earlier, she had been named a rising star in the New York theater community, becoming one of the city's distinguished 30 under 30. Since then, though, her career has languished. Much of her work has gone unproduced, forcing her to take a job teaching playwriting to high school students, and a rather surly and salty crew of pupils at that. Her romantic life is in something of a slump, too, her greatest thrill coming from vicariously listening to her neighbors make love through her bedroom walls. And to make matters worse, Rada's mom, an educator and painter, passed away not long ago, a death that weighed heavily on her. So now as she approaches 40 and begins to feel her age, she wonders if she'll be able to get her life back on track while she still has the chance, hoping in particular to avoid the pitfall of failed potential that befell her talented but underappreciated mother. Rada is not without her backers, though. First, there are her students, particularly Waldo, played by Antonio Ortiz, and Kamal, played by T.J. Adams, a pair of lovable, albeit oversexed, goofballs. Rosa, played by Haskiri Velasquez, a streetwise Latina lesbian who openly professes to have an unrequited crush on her teacher. Elaine, played by Imani Lewis, a talented diamond in the rough in need of discipline and an attitude adjustment. And Avery, played by Ashley Bryan, a Don Juan wannabe with a thing for older women, Rada included. Then there's Archie, played by Peter Y. Kim, Rada's longtime friend and agent, a flamboyantly gay, middle-aged Korean go-getter who does everything he can to support her projects, even when his time might be better spent promoting other more promising clients. Rada's indeed fortunate to have such enthusiastic supporters behind her, if for nothing else than providing much-needed moral support when circumstances go awry. And the need for that moral support comes up often as she seeks to stage her new play, Harlem Ave. She first approaches Forrest, played by Andre Ward, the eccentric, enigmatic head of a black theater company, who seems more preoccupied with contacting spirits than doing serious work. Moreover, given the shoestring budgets he generally operates with, prospects don't look promising, leaving Rada discouraged yet again. All is not lost, however. Archie invites Rada to a cocktail party with a number of heavy hitters in the theater community, most notably Josh Whitman, played by Reed Birney, a colorful, influential, self-important, though often clueless producer. Archie informs Rada that Whitman is open to new production ideas and that the party may be the perfect opportunity to make a pitch. But when Rada and Whitman discuss the possibilities, the conversation doesn't go well, to say the least, leaving her back at square one. Disheartened, Rada believes that her career as a playwright could be over and thinks it may be time to reinvent herself. So she taps into the anger and frustration she's been feeling as a springboard. She draws upon those emotions to begin composing rap lyrics, as told from the perspective of a single, plus-sized, economically challenged, underserviced black woman. And she likes what she comes up with, the possible start of a new career. There's just one catch. She needs the beats to go with her words. But, thanks to a promising lead, that problem could be solved too. Radha pays a visit to the apartment of a Beats creator who simply goes by the name D, played by Oswin Benjamin, a perpetually stoned 20-something man of few words who's a virtuoso at what he does best. Radha and D don't hit it off well at first, but when she sees what his beats can do for her lyrics, she sees their collaboration as a good fit. Likewise, D soon becomes impressed with Radha, and for more than just her lyrics. He's anxious to help showcase her work, and he quietly looks for an opening with her in other ways too. Unfortunately, thanks to a bit too much pre-performance nerve-settling reefer, Radha's rap premiere at a club night organized by D proves to be a disaster. After the failed effort, she seeks solace in Archie's comforting arms, asking herself, "What was I thinking?" Archie provides the requisite reassurance, informing her that despite her ill-fated meeting with Whitman, the producer is willing to give Harlem Ave a second look. It's a chance for Radha to leave her rap experiment behind and go back to what she knows best, an opportunity she willingly pursues. Upon meeting with Whitman, however, Radha learns that he's looking to implement a number of alterations to make the play more marketable to theater patrons, such as adding a principal white character, played by Megan O'Neill, to a production that originally featured only 2 African-American leads, played by Stacey Sargent and William Oliver Watkins. He also makes promises that he's unable to keep. Instead of fulfilling Radha's request that he hire a black director, which he says they're already all working, he finds a replacement in a Jewish white woman, Julie, played by Welker White. And as the compromises continue to creep into the production, Radha grows increasingly disillusioned. Fortunately, Radha has a knight in hip-hop armor to come to her rescue. When Dee wonders where she disappeared to after her onstage meltdown, he comes in search of her. And when he does, the man of few words uncharacteristically speaks his mind, contending that Radha is selling out for the sake of seeing her play produced. He takes it upon himself to immerse her in the rap community, to help her see a world in which he believes she truly belongs. It doesn't hurt that he then satisfies some of her other long-simmering needs. Indeed, everything he does seems to work wonders to lift her spirits. But this leaves Radha with a huge dilemma to resolve. Does she continue to work on the radically altered production of Harlem Ave, especially since it now means having to address some additional disagreeable obligations in exchange for the play's staging? Or does she pursue a revitalized rap career with Dee, one whose potential and prospects are unknown? It's a big decision, and with her 40th birthday right around the corner, she doesn't have much time to choose if she's to stick to the timetable she set for herself. It seems she's got some heavy thinking to do. To a great degree, that heavy thinking begins with a fairly simple question. What does Radha want to create for herself? As simple as that may seem, however, that may not be an easy question to answer. It requires peering within, taking a good hard look at her true self, particularly what she believes about herself. And that's important because what we believe about ourselves, in turn, is reflected in what we experience. Of course, in making things happen, we must be clear with ourselves about what we truly want. That calls upon us to be authentic with ourselves, to tap into our sense of personal integrity. And clearly, this is something Radha struggles with. Is she a playwright who's ever willing to make compromises to get her production staged, even if they go against the principles she stands for? Or is she an emerging rapper who speaks her mind through her candid, no-holds-barred lyrics? Only she can decide. However, as noted previously, she's not without help in making that decision. Those around her have an uncanny knack for pointing the way toward what she should consider and what she should ignore. Dee, for example, despite his typical reluctance to speak up, is an ardent supporter, nudging Radha to listen to her heart and encouraging her to follow what she knows deep down inside is the right course, striking out in a new direction with her singular rap style. The same can be said for her students, all of whom think it's rad that they have a teacher who is so cool that she's willing to take such a chance. Even the homeless man who has taken up residence across the street from Radha's apartment building, played by Jacob Ming Trent, is behind her in his own way, routinely offering colorful, unsolicited guidance on what she should do, acting almost as if he were a sort of latter-day one-man Greek chorus. At the same time, Archie, and by extension Whitman, Julie, and everyone associated with the Harlem Ave production, provide their own special form of backhanded guidance. They're all eminently enthusiastic about the play as Radha grows ever more disillusioned about it. In a sense, through their continued backing of the play, they feed Radha's feelings and beliefs that she may be on the wrong path. The question is, of course, can she see that? Can she indeed realize what they're trying to push her to do? Again, there's a big choice involved here, but if Radha puts her mind to it, with all the loving, well-intentioned urging that has come her way, she just might make the right decision that benefits herself and others. Even though the foregoing plot summary and discussion may make this sound like a deep philosophical treatise, nothing could be further from the truth, despite the presence of these themes in the picture's narrative. The 40-year-old version, a title that's a play on words on the 2005 release The 40-Year-Old Virgin, is one of the most consistently funny offerings to have come out in years, serving up brilliant, laugh-out-loud one-liners and hilarious, and I do mean hilarious, situational comedy in rapid-fire succession throughout its 2-hour runtime. And when the story turns thoughtful, the picture knows how to deliver the goods then as well, but it does so without unduly letting them overstay their welcome. Writer-actor-director Radha Blank's debut, semi-autobiographical feature is a real treasure in so many regards that it's the kind of movie viewers will remember vividly well after the fact. The film presents its material with a refreshing honesty, offering poignant insights about the New York arts community, society at large, being authentic, and growing older. Shot mostly in black and white, the film's gorgeous cinematography beautifully enhances the story and shows off the Big Apple in its best light. The narrative becomes admittedly a little stretched out in the second hour, but with everything else the picture has to offer, who cares? Sensitive viewers are cautioned that the salty language in this one is enough to make a sailor blush, but it only serves to make the laughs even bigger throughout. Blank is off to a tremendous start with this project. Let's hope she keeps it up in future releases. The film is available for streaming online. The 40-year-old version has scored big with critics, and it has earned a modest degree of attention in this year's awards competitions, though it deserves more than it has received. As one of the National Board of Review's top 10 films of 2020, the picture also captured the organization's Spotlight Award for Blank's outstanding achievements in this project. Blank herself has been recognized with a BAFTA Award nomination for Best Actress, a very deserving honor indeed. In addition, the picture received a nod in the Best Comedy category of the Critics' Choice Awards contest and an Independent Spirit Award nomination for Best First Feature. Reaching for the stars is certainly a noble ambition, but we need to make sure we're grasping for the right ones if we ever hope to feel genuinely fulfilled. Certain pursuits may sometimes feel right, but when we can see that our efforts aren't bearing any fruit, it may be time to step back and reassess. We might resist such changes at first, probably because we're unwilling to admit that the time we spent chasing the wrong goals was a mistake. However, such undertakings, no matter how little success they bring us, are rarely a waste of time. They help us better get in touch with what we were meant to do. Ventures that are more likely to deliver more satisfying rewards. It may take fashioning a different version of ourselves to reach that point, but when we consider what's at stake, the effort is worth it. And with a sound plan and a good measure of commitment, we just might make it by the time we're 40. I'm Brett Marchant, the Cinema Scribe. Thanks for listening.
A lifelong movie fan and longtime student of metaphysics, cinema scribe Brent Marchand is the award-winning author of Get the Picture, Conscious Creation Goes to the Movies, Consciously Created Cinema, The Movie Lover's Guide to the Law of Attraction, and Third Reel, Conscious Creation Goes Back to the Movies, all of which provide reader-friendly looks at how the practice of conscious creation, also known as the Law of Attraction, is illustrated through film. Brent maintains an ongoing blog about metaphysical cinema and other self-empowerment topics through his website, www.brentmarchand.com. He's also the movie correspondent for the Good Radio Network and a contributor to numerous other websites, publications, and podcasts. Brent holds a BA in magazine journalism and history from Syracuse University. Check him out at www.brentmarchand.com.